Hi, this is George Alger. Welcome to today's segment of Our Ventura TV. Today we're going to be talking about how to help people. And our guest expert is Louise Meyer, who is a life improvement specialist. Welcome, Louise. And what is a life improvement specialist?
Well, thank you, George. Thank you for having me. What a life improvement specialist is someone who specializes in helping people improve their life or lives. It's very simple. And, I have a lot of training and very specific ways to do that. But basically, that's what I do. I just help people improve whatever condition or situation they want to make better in their life.
Cool. Now, would this be similar to a more common term I've heard, which would be a life coach?
I think it's a bit of a combination of a counselor and a life coach. And people get the idea of counseling as sort of being told what to do. Coaching, I think, is good because it implies you get a program and someone sort of helps you move along. So I think it's a bit of a combination.
Okay, very good. So let's
Yeah.
talk about how to help people. What does this mean?
Well, help implies improving. Help implies that you're assisting someone. So it's about as big a subject as you can get because help can mean a lot of things to different people. So my topic I want to focus on today is how you don't have to be an expert to help anyone. And I think some people back off and feel like they can't really help anyone because they're not an expert at the subject. But the truth is, it's remarkable how simple it is. I sometimes feel like I'm cheating. I get paid for this. And it's so simple to help people. And I can either start blabbing on or you can ask me how it is that.
Well, of course, there's so many areas that come to mind is how someone could be helped. But I know in life, people tend to have some common problems that have to do with relationships or money. So, how would we help or how could you help anyone in either one of those areas?
I think if you go more basic, there's one fundamental underneath whatever subject, whether it's dealing with your children, dealing with relationship, work, money, anything. And that is you have to have some knowledge of that subject, but you have to be there. And what happens in life is people get distracted. They get upset by news or they have an upset with their spouse before they go to work. And then they try to tell someone, and instead of someone just listening to, oh, yeah, that happened to me, and you're going, oh, okay, I didn't really need that now. So, in dealing with someone and trying to help them, probably the most fundamental and most valuable thing you can do is just be there and listen to them and take notice of them, find them important, be interested. I think that it comes down to, if you look at the word interested, it means you want to know about something. I literally couldn't understand why these, I guess I'll call them young people since I'm old, they have these pieces of hardware in their face. And I'm appalled by that. And so there was a young man with a big piece of spike in his lip at a store. And I just said, I'd like to know about that. Tell me about that thing in your lip. Well, doesn't that get in the way when you try to kiss your girlfriend? And just super interested. I mean, we became best friends because I didn't make him feel wrong or like I was judging him. I really wanted to know. And a basic rule that I follow, if I'm not really interested in a person for whatever reason, and I don't really care about them, which is very few, I'm interested in most everyone, but now and then, there's someone, I don't attempt to help them. There's somebody else who might be interested, but I'm not going to do them a service. But then it's amazing how simple it is to get interested in someone. So that's, I think, the basic rule. And I have lots of little tips I can go over and mechanics of how to do that. But it's taking your attention off yourself. You've probably been talking to someone and all you can think about is what you want to say. And you're not really getting what they say, right? But if you could just get quiet for a moment and completely focus on that person and forget about it. And when they finish talking, go, okay, I understand that. That is so therapeutic. You wouldn't even imagine the effect that that can create. You will be remembered forever as the first person who ever listened to someone. It's really unbelievably powerful.
Wow. Okay. So every tip here would just be focused listening.
That's it.
Yeah.
And caring and being interested. And I think another thing to add to that is I've heard everything. I've been into counseling for 40 years. There's not one thing people could do that I have not heard. And the truth is, people are doing the best they can. If they're doing something weird, they're just trying to solve a problem. So rather than focus on how wrong they are for some mistake or some stupid thing they're doing, get them to tell you all about it and find out what problem they're trying to solve. Now, there's another way to help people solve problems, and that is not to give them advice. That's a bad idea. Nobody uses your advice anyway, and then all you do is get upset because nobody uses your advice. But if you've noticed, when you're upset, you don't really want advice. You just want someone to listen. Because the truth of it is, you are the only person who can solve your problem because it is your problem. You can give someone knowledge. You can get them to tell you about the problem. I have a fantastic example. I had a doctor friend, and I was a coach for him, and he was always asking me advice, and any advice I gave him, he never followed, even though he paid me to give him advice. So one day I'd had it, and I learned this new tool, and he was in a big kerfuffle about should he move his office, should he not move his office, and I said, I need 30 minutes of undistracted time. Okay, I said, tell me about this problem. And he told me, if he did here, then these customers couldn't come here and these people were old. And I go, okay, is there anything more about that problem? Blah, 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 blah. And have you covered every aspect of this problem? And how would this affect you if you moved? And just 30 minutes of downloading every single thing about this situation. And at the end of it, I said, have you told me every single thing about this problem? And he said, yes. And I said, well, do you have any idea what you think you might want to do about it? And he said, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do about it. Now that we've talked, I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bingo. It was amazing because he just needed to look at it and work through it and handle all of his thoughts. And then he came up with his own idea. And if someone doesn't come up with their own idea, you might say, well, have you thought of doing this? And they go, oh, I could do that. Excuse me, some little thing, like maybe I could read a book about how to do that, or I could go look up something on Google. Do you see what I mean? But when they're caught in the problem, it's like, here, the problem's on your face. You're not going to solve that thing. You need distance. You need to get it away from you so you can look at it and get it off you. Like sometimes just go take a walk. Forget thinking about it. Go clean the house. That's what I do. My favorite therapy is working with my plants or cleaning the house, because if I'm enmeshed in something, all of a sudden you're out of it and you go, oh, that's not that hard. So those are very, very simple things you can do.
I love it.
I have a million stories, just whatever you want to hear.
Well, actually, we're all out of time, but if you can sneak in a website and maybe a very brief summating message, we'll wrap things up after that.
Well, summating again, you don't have to be an expert. Don't underestimate the power of what you can do for someone, even just being kind, smiling, taking someone for a walk. My website's www.lifeimprovementspecialist.com. And, I'm always happy to answer questions or help anyone. So give me a holler.
All right. Thank you very much, Louise.
Thank you.
This is George Alger signing off for this segment of Our Ventura TV. Until we meet again.